Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We're on episode 5 of Modal Zushi, and oh my gosh, this series, it's getting good. It's getting good, y'all. I did want to make a note that my friend Wu on Patreon noted, and I I realized in the last episode I was like, oh, WuXian just wants to learn some demonic arts. It's no big deal. And Wu on Patreon was kind of like, she was like, actually, if you do the dark arts, that's kind of like going to the dark side, and you can't go back, and it's kind of a bad thing. And I was like, oh, I'm like, oh yeah, so that would be problematic, actually. Cool, gotcha. Good to know. So, I if I sounded real nonchalant about that, I guess I wasn't seeing the gravity of the situation and how it's like that's pretty taboo. But Wuxian was getting kind of close to it last episode when he was underwater, so I don't know. And I'm not sure if it's gonna like alter Wuxian's character, because looking at the character sheet that I have here, the Wuxian that we saw in episode 1 with the flute looking all badass was from 2 years after this flashback where we're at now. So the flashback that we're in currently takes place 2 years before the whole flute playing and bringing all the zombies back. So some stuff's gone down between now and then. So I'm real curious what all has happened with his character. We also got introduced last episode to Wanji's brother, Zishan. And Zishan he's so great. I love how stoic he is. And I commented about him last episode. It'll probably take me a while to get Zishan's name right. And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah, so Wanji. Also, Wanji just saving Wuxian. Even though you don't like touching people. And you just grabbed him by his like clothes. And then there's talk about the Wind Clan and them not upholding their duties to exorcise the water ghouls. And this whole thing with the Zhang family and then the Ling family, there's lots of family dynamics and stuff going on that's pretty interesting. But I just wanted to make a note about the whole demonic arts. You would think that with a title like demonic arts, I'd be like, it's probably a bad thing. But I'm like, it's our main character, so it can't be that bad, right? I like this morally gray area that Wuxian is in, because he's such a fun character. He's so carefree and just caution to the wind and such a chaotic gremlin. But at the same time, I forget that, yeah, he's also kind of morally gray if he's thinking about using these things that everyone else is like, probably shouldn't. And that's pretty fresh to see our main protagonist be portrayed in kind of a neutral way, right? Because usually your protagonists in the show, they're either the good guy or they're the villain, you know? They're either really morally, it's usually like a black and white scenario. And with Wuxian, it's kind of more gray. Like, he's clearly not evil, but he's talking about doing some things that aren't necessarily ethical or morally on point with everyone else, which is interesting. I think it's a pretty fresh take on our protagonist. But I'm excited to dive into episode 5. I hope you all are too. Thank you all so much for watching and for commenting down below. I really appreciate it. And thank you for not spoiling me either. But we are going to, with that being said, start episode 5 of Modal Zushi. I hope there's a Cornetto ad in this one, because there wasn't last time, and I was like, where's my Cornetto ad? So with that being said, we are going to start episode 5 here in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Man, okay, y'all. This may be my favorite episode yet. Ooh, this is getting good. It's getting good, y'all. So there's so much to talk about. Okay, so first of all, Zishan. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but the older of the nephews of Uncle Kieran. I love him. Like, he's such a compassionate character, and he clearly, like, in last episode, he seemed very stoic and, like, what Wanji is trying to be, but in this episode, he is capable of emotions. Like, he has an outburst with his uncle. He's like, it's stupid that the Wing Clan is just ignoring their duties, and they've got all this power, and so nobody questions them. And so he gets mad at it, but he's also extremely forgiving and kind to Wuxian, and even tells Wuxian, he's like, hey, I know how to heal those injuries. There's this spring over here that'll cure you right up. Man, so I really like Zishan's character. I like that we get more characterization with him, and that he is genuinely trying to be a helpful person for Wuxian. Wanji. Wanji, man. Just the fact that Wanji opened up a little bit to Wuxian during that fight scene in the rain, that was beautiful. That was choreographed. It was so beautiful to watch. And that Wuxian just, stealing all the Emperor's smiles, stealing the booze, and he just wanted to share it with Wanji. And then Wanji, like, indulging a little bit and being like, oh, that was fun, that little tussle we just had. And then he doesn't let Wuxian suffer the punishment alone. He takes it too. He takes more. He takes 50 more hits. Like, that bruises on his shoulders and stuff, that just looked painful. And then, of course, he goes to the spring. And that whole spring scene where Wuxian's like, hey, we could go check out these girls together, you and me. And Wanji's like, He's like, oh, well, you have a very nice body. So, and his little ears turning pink, like, that was, you're not fooling anybody, That was really good. But I like that Wanji is slowly, in his own weird way, warming up to Wuxian. Just a little bit, tiny bit. Oh, but then this whole deal with the resentful energy. I'm glad that y'all told me it was like the dark side, because this got a little creepy there. I'm not gonna have the feral zombies, and then of course Wuxian didn't have any tools to use, and him saving the rabbit. And I like that at the end, the rabbits he gets for Wanji are one's black and one's white, kind of like representation. But I thought for a second that he was going to take the rabbit and put it in the zombie's mouth. I thought he was going to save himself by doing that. Just the angle in which it was shot, and it looked like his arm came up. But he was hiding the rabbit in his cloak, not putting it in the zombie's mouth. And the way that the leaves like slowly crept in and they were black because it was the nighttime was really cool. But the effect here that he stops the zombie with his hand, but there's all this resentful energy coming out and around, coming out from his palm. And that's what stops the zombie. And then it freaks him out because it's coming from him. And I'm wondering, like, is that from the lake too, like an extension of that? And it like comes up through like his veins and stuff. And there's this cool shot of the core of him, of his core, and his core is like this golden color, like it's pure. But the resentful energy is around it, and he like clutches his chest, and he looks pretty scary there for a second, like it's all like coming into him. But I'm like, it was like a reflex. He wasn't calling on it, right? And the zombie moves away. But Chang notices, like he sees like his whole hand like all tensed up and everything, and him not using his sword. And I wonder if he's got all this resentful energy in him, can he not use the sword? Because it's a cultivation tool. Is it kind of like if you've got the bad energy, you can't use the good things? Oh yeah, and he saw the energy. Yep. Oh my gosh. Crazy. And then Wanji saves him, and Chang gets in the way before Wanji can really notice the resentful energy bit. And I like that Chang's like, they can't know that you have this because it's totally taboo and you're gonna get expelled from cultivation and you can't do it. And Wuxian's like, I won't use it again. Which it's like, okay. But it looks like it just takes a lot out of him. It's weird because it's almost like, and he starts to see maybe a little bit of the cultivation, and Chang blocks it. Interesting, but he makes the veins and stuff go away by saying he's not going to use it anymore. And Chang is really ticked off that he, but it's like Wuxian didn't summon himself. It was like a reflex. So that's interesting. Wuxian's even got this look on his face like, I don't know. It's just happened. Ah! Yeah. Yeah, I won't allow your existence. And that's such a cool. The shot of his mouth saying Wei Wuxian is a callback to like episode 2 when he was like Wei Wuxian. And it was like the same close up, only there was a much different tone to it with Chang. That's interesting. And Wuxian, man, Wuxian's face looks like really like quivering there, like he was about to cry. Like just, I'll never do it again. And there's the rabbit that he saved. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So we still got the zombies back. We got the zombies back to interrogate, but what now? What now? I like that he's implying at the end there. He's like, the rabbits are on top of each other. And she's like, how obscene. And Wuxian's like, you didn't even know about erotic art, but you know about this? Oh my gosh, you guys. This was a beautiful episode, and it's setting up some things. It's setting up some things, and I don't... I'm like, Wuxian, how do you think you're not going to use it anymore? So this is like the turning point, right? Getting into this. I don't know, y'all. I'm curious. Very, very curious. But I'm liking this slow developing friendship, this odd friendship between Wanji and Wuxian, slowly developing. And then Chang obviously being concerned, like, what are you doing? But we haven't got rid of the water ghoul. Haven't really gotten rid of it. We've just got these zombies to interrogate, so I'm curious about all that. But I've seen on Netflix, I guess because I've been watching this, that Netflix has popped up The Untamed, which is the live action version of this. I have not watched it, but I might, after these 2 seasons are over, I might have to watch and react to it because it looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie, the actor playing Wuxian, fangirling just a little bit. He's very attractive. I'm just gonna throw it out there. But yeah, it's a really good episode. I'm curious to know what your all thoughts are. Please don't spoil me, but let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Thank you so much for watching the reaction. And yeah, next time we will jump into episode 6, the halfway point of this first season of Mo Dao Zushi. Bye.